If you feel like you're having more bad luck than usual, it might be because of something called a generational curse. This means that the trouble might come from problems passed down by your family, or from a spiritual curse that goes back to your ancestors' mistakes. Some people believe these curses are connected to religion, especially Christian beliefs. But we're not trying to prove if that's true or not. Instead, we want to think about this idea with an open mind and explore what it could mean. Maybe there's something real about these curses. Let's find out together. In Christianity, there's a belief in generational curses, meaning that the wrongdoings of our ancestors might affect us. This belief suggests that no matter how good or moral we are, we might still face consequences for our ancestors' actions. It's a tough idea to digest, right? It seems a bit unfair for those trying to do better than their predecessors. This concept has led some people to question their faith, which is quite understandable. After all, who would want to live a life of kindness and goodness, only to be burdened by a curse from the past? First, let's explore some more uplifting or intriguing thoughts on how to identify generational curses. There's talk that certain signs might help recognize these curses, and there are even suggestions for how to lift them, similar to how some believe that curses can be broken in other traditions. It's said that generational curses impact the mind first, as the mind is the control center for the rest of the body. We're all aware of the strong link between the mind and body, making the mind a strategic target for a curse to take root swiftly. Because these curses are passed down through generations, they might start influencing people from a very young age. Here are some other symptoms of a generational curse. Mental health issues. A potential indicator of a generational curse is mental health challenges, like depression or dissociative identity disorder. Perspectives on mental illness vary widely. Science views it as a brain function issue. Some spiritual traditions see it as a form of enlightenment, and certain religious beliefs interpret it as possession by malevolent forces. In various spiritual contexts, mental health struggles might also be considered a manifestation of a curse. Nightmares. Similar to mental health issues, the interpretation of nightmares varies across different cultures and perspectives. They might be seen as responses to stress, poor diet, or an overactive mind. However, in the context of generational curses, particularly persistent or unusual nightmares could be perceived as a curse, perhaps one inherited from ancestors. Paying attention to recurring, strange dreams could be important in understanding such a curse. Character flaws. The concept that generational curses manifest as repeated character flaws is thought-provoking. If you notice patterns of behavior in your life that mirror those of your ancestors, such as substance abuse or other harmful actions, it could be seen as a generational curse. Observing similar negative behaviors passed down through generations can be quite unsettling and might warrant further reflection. Physical signs. Beyond the mind, it's believed that generational curses can affect one's physical health and well-being, potentially causing a range of health issues. Addictions. While addictions might seem like a matter of character or mental health, they can have profound physical consequences. An addiction could stem from an unexplained urge, possibly linked to familial habits or tendencies. If you find yourself grappling with a strong, inexplicable craving, it's worth considering whether it aligns with any known patterns or issues within your family. Diseases and injuries. Illnesses and injuries might be seen as generational curses, especially when they are recurrent within a family. Conditions like heart disease, cancer, and diabetes are often hereditary, but some view these recurring health issues not just as genetic traits, but as curses passed down through generations. Whether you see these health patterns as unfortunate genetic inheritances or as something more mystical, addressing and breaking these patterns is seen by some as a way to move forward. Physical beauty. It might sound unusual, but some believe that being extraordinarily beautiful can be a kind of curse. While many might see great beauty as a blessing, for some, it leads to a life focused on superficial values and unwanted attention. People who are highly attractive might find that others often overlook their intelligence or inner qualities, focusing solely on their appearance. In this sense, what's typically seen as a positive trait could be perceived as a generational curse, impacting a person's life in complex ways. Now that we've explored what generational curses might entail, let's shift our focus to understanding how we can potentially break free from these deep-rooted patterns and legacy burdens, opening a path toward healing and positive change. Within Christian beliefs, there's a mention of a way to overcome these generational curses, though it's quite complicated. It involves seeking atonement, which must be done sincerely, at the right time, and under specific conditions. But there are other methods too. Talk to your family. Talk to your relatives to figure out which behaviors might be the curse. Sometimes, families have certain habits that get passed down without anyone really noticing. They just happen automatically. Chat with family members you trust to share stories and see if they've noticed these habits too. Remember, just because your family has some repeated behaviors doesn't mean you're stuck with a curse. You've always got the chance to make things better for yourself. Write down what you find out. It helps to keep track. Note down what you'd like to change in your own life, your goals for the future, and anything interesting you notice about your family's actions. Be kind and considerate when you talk about this. Pointing out someone's negative habits can touch a nerve, so it's best to avoid blame. Talk about your own observations and feelings using I statements to keep the conversation positive and constructive. Talk to a therapist. Consider talking to a therapist or counselor for help. Breaking family patterns can be tough on your own, but professionals in mental health can provide valuable support. If your family members are willing, you might even think about seeing a family therapist to tackle issues that go way back. Therapists can help with many issues that might be seen as generational curses, like problems with substance abuse, experiences of physical or emotional abuse, and mental health challenges like depression or anxiety. If there's abuse happening in your home, it's crucial to reach out to a domestic violence hotline and find a safe place to stay. For those who follow Christianity, talking to a church leader like a priest or reverend could also offer guidance and support in dealing with what you believe might be a generational curse. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself with kindness and encouragement. If you're dealing with a generational curse, you might be used to thinking about yourself in a not-so-nice way. This can happen when there's been trauma. Using positive affirmations can help build your self-esteem and change how you see yourself. Here are some affirmations you can try. I have the strength to remain sober. I am the one who ends this cycle. I feel great when I choose not to smoke. Or simply, I am creating a successful life. Change old habits. Change your old habits into new, beneficial ones. Since we all tend to follow our routines, it's not easy to just cut something out of your life. To break a habit, stay away from things that tempt you and begin new, positive routines. Picture yourself succeeding to boost your confidence and think about how you can avoid old habits in different situations. For instance, if you usually have a cigarette every morning, try taking a short walk or using toothpicks or gum instead. If you can't avoid situations that trigger your old habits, get ready by imagining how you can handle them differently. Think about staying calm during arguments, enjoying time with friends who drink without drinking yourself, or shopping without making impulsive purchases. Lastly, go easy on yourself if you slip up. Changing a habit or breaking what you think of as a curse isn't simple. Remember, progress isn't always straightforward. If you catch yourself falling back into old ways, gently remind yourself back to your new path without being too harsh. You've got this. That's all we have for you today. If you feel like you're dealing with generational curse too, share your journey in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more helpful videos.